Hey YouTube, so I need to paint the ends of these logs as well, but I want to get some of the logs out of there that are pine. There's 3 of them in there, and this way you'll get a chance to see the thumb working. almost all of this is white oak. I don't see any red oak in there at all. So I'm going to paint the ends of that. I should have brought my stick. These three that I moved over here are pine. I want to get the pine down by the mill because I think I have a big order coming for pine. I got to check and see. I talked to a guy the other day, but he didn't give me a definite response, and he also did not give me a check. So I'm not doing anything unless I get those. That's the first time I've really used the thumb for anything meaningful, and it works pretty good. I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on that. That's why I had the backhoe, motor idle down pretty good. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on that thing. I think that it would be very easy to mess it up if you put, you know, too much power behind it. you can see that there's some shake in this log here. You notice the annual rings are separated. There's a number of reasons that it might not go all the way through the log. Chances are it will go all the way through the log, and if it does, I might be limited to what I can get out of that. It might end up being all firewood. So, you know, you have to be careful with what you're getting and cutting, that you're not wasting too much of your time. And you can't assume that the shake will stay together. If there's a little bit of shake in a board, chances are you put any kind of stress on that at all, whether it's furniture or anything, it'll probably come apart there and split just where you don't want it to split. So when it comes time to cut that, I'm going to spend a little extra time thinking about how you're going to cut something that might have some shake in it. It's possible that by the butt end the shake might be worse, but if you think about it, if the butt end moved, you know, side to side, surely the top of the tree was moving pretty far. But you never know what you're going to get when you open them up. See how rocky this is here in the winter time or in the summertime. You'd be surprised how many rattlesnakes come and lay on those warm rocks or next to them. I'm probably sleeping underneath there at the moment. This, I don't know where I'm pointing here. I think, yeah, this one has some shake to it as well. had a choice of paint colors, it would be nice to have, you know, the different types of logs painted a different color so that, like for instance, when Carmine comes up, he doesn't have to try and guess at what he's bringing to the mill with the backhoe for me, or whoever would be helping me. See, now you see that big hole in this? If you look, let me just show you this. It helps to try and read the tree as best you can. If you look, let me just turn the camera a little bit here. This log here, you can see has a hole in the bottom of it. Now, altogether this looks like about a 12-footer. And normally the hole doesn't always bother me. Sometimes it's just in the very bottom starting its way up. But if you look at this log, apparently there was a branch on here, and that's very low on the tree. And then you can see where there's a split there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me, right at where the shadow of the backhoe bucket is, you can see that the tree is split. There's two trees growing together here. So this is probably firewood as well. But because I have the time, I'll still depend on how it looks when I get it on the mill. But sometimes they're not worth doing, and if you have the time, sometimes they are worth putting a little bit of time into them just to see what you can get out of it. Now, you know, if you watch my channel, I'm not interested in nothing less than 8 foot long, only for storage purposes at this point. Okay, so that's this side. I want to get the other side, but I got to get the other side of these pine logs. I want to get these logs piled up a little bit better here. When I was bringing them over to the pile, I was just kind of throwing them there just to get them out of my way. You can see I got a pretty nice banana boat right there. I don't know if you can see how bent that log is, but you've seen my string method of how to figure that out. I can pretty much do it now just by looking at them. So there's at least an 8-footer on there that's straight, but I want to get that back log there over here too on the pile, and I need the pile to be out of the driveway. I put the pile on the edge of the driveway by where I have the house, and I want to move that. So I need to get the other end of these pine trees painted yet, and then I'll be able to move those down to the sawmill. so the pine logs can go down. I don't know what the length of this one is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. It's a 14 footer. So 14, 12, and 12. Good. 12 footers are always good when it comes to framing. Two guys can handle a 12-foot wall pretty much. Okay. So I'm going to shut you off while I go around there to the other side and paint them. Like I say, I know a couple people were waiting for me to use the thumb. I actually put the thumb on there because I want to be able to load my dump truck with logs to move them around, so I can move more than 3 logs. Like, I can move 3 logs on the backhoe with the forks that I made, but sometimes that's not enough, and it's more of a nuisance than it is getting anything done. Man, it's a nice day today. It must be 65 or 70 degrees out. Yow. We very seldom have what you would call a spring. It usually jumps from cold to hot. Now, I know you people probably down south, don't think that 70 is very hot. For us, 80 degrees is like sweltering. When it goes higher than that, I'm dying. Okay, so I'm going to go get the other side of this. This will make a nice log for 2x4s. Dig that stump out that's right here. Keep driving over it. See, what I want to be able to do here is I want to be able to pile the logs up right here on this little, this is a little bit of a grate, and I want to be able to use the crane to set the logs onto the sawmill, because putting them on with these forks is a little iffy, because for one thing, I really can't see what's going on over there. So, you know, it's going to hit pretty hard, and I don't want that. Now, if I can lay it on the carriage and partly on the sawmill before it comes off, I might be able to just roll it on with the cant hook. Okay, that's not too bad. But I don't like putting them on there with this because of dropping them like that. Time for lunch. Before I go to lunch, I'm going to try and roll that on there better. The problem with this is I got the small end down here at this side, and I don't like them like that. I'll probably spin that around after I go eat.